Hello and a very warm welcome to the English Story Nook. We are so glad you could join us for another story. Today, we're diving into a story about the power of memory and family photographs. Get ready to discover how a single happy picture from a family album can hide a much more complicated truth, and how understanding our past is the key to building a stronger future. Before we dive in, if you enjoy our stories and want to support what we do, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and consider buying us a coffee on Ko-fi. There's a link in the description below. Every like, subscription, and small contribution helps us keep creating great content for English learners like you. Let's get started. When the family album lied. The faint scent of lavender and old books filled Dr. Mbalelelo's office, a calm space that always felt a world away from the city's noise. I sat across from him, my hands wrapped around a warm mug of tea, the ceramic a small anchor in the sea of my thoughts. For weeks, we had been talking about my childhood, carefully unpacking memories I had long kept locked away. Today, however, a new, sharp piece of the puzzle had emerged, and it had a name: the family album. "It was my mother's birthday last weekend," I began, my voice a little shaky. "She brought out the old photo albums. We were looking through them, all laughter and smiles, when we came across a picture from my 7th birthday. In the photo, I'm holding a big, brightly wrapped present, grinning from ear to ear. My mother, Ani, is standing behind me, her hands on my shoulders, smiling too. It looked like the perfect, happy family moment." "But it wasn't, was it?" Dr. Mbalelo asked gently, his eyes full of a familiar, steady kindness. I shook my head, a lump forming in my throat. "That was the day she threw my favorite toy, a little wooden horse, into the fireplace because I had accidentally spilled juice on the new rug. I remember crying for hours, the smell of burning wood and my own heartbreak filling the house. But in that photograph, there's no sign of it, just a happy girl and her loving mother. It felt like a form of gaslighting, looking at it, like my own memory was lying to me." The discrepancy between the photograph and my memory was so huge, so jarring, that it made me question everything. Had I imagined it? Had my 7-year-old mind created a drama that never happened? But I knew deep down that the memory of the fire, the heat on my face, and the empty space on my shelf where the horse used to be was real. My mother's smile in that picture felt like a cruel trick, a perfect example of the gaslighting she was so good at. She could create a storm and then, moments later, pretend the sun had always been shining. "She always did that," I continued, the words tumbling out now. "She would say hurtful things, punish me for small mistakes, and then, an hour later, act as if nothing had happened. She'd offer me ice cream or a new toy, and if I was still upset, she would say I was being too sensitive, that I was imagining things. It was a constant cycle of confusion and self-doubt. This photograph is just proof. Proof of the life she wanted to project, not the one we were actually living. The story of the wooden horse was just one of many. There was the time she forgot to pick me up from school, leaving me to wait for hours in the rain, only to later laugh it off as a silly mistake. Or the time she read my diary aloud to her friends, turning my private thoughts into a source of public amusement. Each incident was a small crack in the foundation of my self-esteem, and the constant denial of my feelings, the subtle gaslighting, made it impossible to trust my own reality. The discrepancy between her actions and her words was a difficult thing for a child to understand, Dr. Mbalelo said. It's not surprising that you learned to bury your feelings, to pretend that everything was fine. It was a survival mechanism. He was right. I had spent years building a wall around myself, a fortress of resilience that kept the hurt at bay. I became independent, self-sufficient, and fiercely private. I learned to rely on no one but myself, because the person who was supposed to be my safe harbor was the one creating the storm. But that resilience came at a cost. It left me feeling isolated, unable to form deep connections with others, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. "Looking at that photograph," I said, a tear finally escaping and tracing a hot path down my cheek. I realized that my resilience wasn't just about being strong, it was about surviving her. And I don't want to just survive anymore. I want to heal. The discrepancy between the smiling girl in the picture and the crying child in my memory was no longer a source of confusion, but a call to action. It was time to reclaim my story, to acknowledge the truth of my past, and to finally, truly, begin to heal. That's the end of our story for today. It is a powerful reminder that memories can be much more complex than they appear in a photograph. What did you learn from the story? We would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Liking the video if you enjoyed it is a great way to show your support. And don't forget to check the description below for helpful resources to continue your practice. Thank you for joining us at the English Story Nook. We hope you feel inspired to continue your learning journey. Keep practicing, stay curious, and we cannot wait to see you in our next video. Happy learning and goodbye for now.